I decided to open a Judo Dojo in 2026, and these are a couple things that I decided to do, and this is my story. My name is Sensei Stanley. I'm a Nidan in Judo. This is year 25 for me. I come from a background of education. I was a public school teacher for 16 years as well as a wrestling coach. What I'm going to do is take all the information and skills that I've learned along the way in the classroom and on the wrestling mat and bring them into my own dojo. If you look behind me, this is my dojo. So we open up January of 26, so pretty exciting. What I want to do with this channel is spread the word of judo, spread the word of grappling, get more people into it, help people improve their takedowns and throws, whether it's in judo, jiu-jitsu, wrestling, whatever, MMA. I want to help people. I want to get you better. I also want to take away some of the misconceptions that surround judo. You know, people might know what judo is, but they don't really understand it in detail, how it can really change lives, and how it can teach you way more than just self-defense or a way to perform in a sport. So, welcome. I'm super happy that you decided to tune in today. Yes, I decided to take the leap of faith and open up a Judo Dojo in 2026. We open in January. Right now it's December, so we have about a month. As you can see behind me, I have the mats down, the building is built, and I have the insulation up. So most of the major construction aspects are already done. I still have to insulate a little bit, and I got to buy chairs and several other things. But this is it. I'm doing it. The cool thing about this is that it is in my front yard. So I have built this 1,200 square foot metal building in my front yard. What an awesome opportunity this is. And first off, I want to start out by saying that I decided to go this route and build on my property for a couple reasons. One, rent is really high. And I don't know what it's comparable to the rest of the United States or even the rest of this state. But we all know that judo academies are decently small, and it takes a while to grow them. And, whenever you're talking about getting into a multiple year lease, starting out at $1,500 a month, and I saw some that went up to $3,000 a month, financially, it made me kind of nervous. So I decided to build this on my own property. So what did it take? Well, I hired a construction company. They're actually called Better Built out of Monroe, North Carolina. They did my foundation, concrete foundation, and they built this building, 1,200 square foot, all steel. I decided to go that way. But, concrete is expensive. So if you plan on building, just know that your concrete is either going to be as expensive, if not more expensive, than the building itself. So just be aware of that. I have electricity in here. I decided to not go with a bathroom because, again, this is a little bit of a testing ground. This is going to be, yes, a business, but also a project as well, right? And again, the financial side, it would have been another, $7,000 to $10,000 to add plumbing in here. So I decided to not do that. Do I wish that I did? I'm not sure. I want to see how things go, but whenever I do a video later on talking about how things have went over the last whatever amount of time it is, I'll let you know then. So I had this built. The mats that I picked up, the blue ones that you see behind you, The blue mats I picked up used from a martial arts school that I met as I did my traveling judo business. I went down to that school and I taught judo for jiu-jitsu, which is something all on its own, and that really got me interested in opening up my own dojo, by the way, is going out into, those 25 or 30 schools, whatever it was, and teaching judo for jiu-jitsu. It's awesome. So it really got me interested in it, and it showed me that people are interested in takedowns and throws. So they're interested in judo. So that's awesome. The black ones I bought new. They are, I forget the name of the foam, polypropylene maybe, but they're antibacterial foam rolls, and they come in 6 foot by 50, I believe, is what I bought these for. So I rolled down a couple of those. I decided to do a raised floor system, which if you've done judo before, or you've gotten taken down on some puzzle mats on a concrete floor, whew, you know what that's like. I can already just feel it in my back just thinking about it. Ugh, rough. So when I started judo, I actually started on a springboard floor. So the ultimate way to train in judo is a springboard floor. I didn't have 10 grand, 15 grand to spend on that. So what I decided to do is a foam block floor. I did a foam block floor. I bought the foam blocks through Fuji Mats. I did a layer of foam blocks, a layer of plywood, a layer of carpet padding, a layer of plywood again, and then on the top is the mat. So a 5-layer floor system. So, and I've tested out with some break falls. It's nice. It still has to get broken in a little bit, but it's definitely going to be awesome when we get multiple people on here and we're doing some live throws. So I decided to go with that. When you open up a martial arts facility, especially a grappling style, the mats are probably going to be, your biggest highlight. It's probably going to be one of your biggest expenses, unless you build the building like I did. But after that, the most expensive equipment that you're usually going to have to buy are some floor padding. And again, you can get away with puzzle mats, or you can go all the way up to a springboard floor system with tatamis. I know that I wanted a raised floor system. So that is kind of like the highlight and what I've been focusing on whenever I'm talking about the club or advertising for the club. I also decided to become a wholesaler for a gi company. Now, I don't intend on that to become, a big revenue stream, but it is going to be a small revenue stream for me. I buy gis at wholesale. I'm able to mark them up a little bit and then make a little bit of profit on each gi that I sell. So again, it's not going to be a big money maker, but it's going to help, right? I know from lots of research that I've done, you have to try to find multiple avenues to, bring in money into your business. And if it's something like a martial arts business, right, we have to find these other avenues that's going to add to it, right, and help us be sustainable and help us run our dojo correctly and full time. The other cool thing is that this same company that I'm wholesaling through is also going to be sponsoring my podcast, The Well-Rounded Grappler, which is awesome. So again, just another way to generate a little bit of funds for the club, right, to make it more sustainable and make it so that I'm able to, run this business successfully. Now, what I've heard and what I've done is spread the word early. So if you're thinking about opening up a dojo, or any business really, get the word out there early. Let people know that you'll be opening in a month. You got a new business coming to the area this summer, this winter, whatever it might be. And get the word out there. Have people interested early. I've done that to an extent. I haven't paid for any advertising yet. It's all been kind of just word of mouth, spreading word on Facebook. Some students that have trained with me before. That's kind of the route that I've done. So I have about 20 people on an email list, on a newsletter list, that have shown some interest in maybe joining the club. So, it doesn't mean all 20 are going to do it, but at least I have a little bit of interest, right? And they can help me spread the word as well. So once you get people into the club or get them thinking about the club or wanting to join the club, then they are going to talk about the club if they have a good experience and they're excited, right? People that come to the club are going to be, my biggest advertisers, really. And when you hear it from somebody you know and trust that this is a good judo club, I trust Sensei Stanley, and I would suggest that you bring your family to the club. That's going to mean a lot more to someone than just seeing a blip on Facebook, right? To where they see the blip and they just move on. I am going to do some paid advertising as well. I'm actually getting ready to start a campaign on Facebook. I'm going to run it, I don't know, maybe 10 days, 2 weeks, something like that. And I'm going to do some paid advertising. But, the good thing about like a Facebook marketplace is that, or not Facebook marketplace, but Facebook advertising is, it's not super expensive. And they have all these packages to where, you could spend $1 a day if you want, for however many days. And obviously, the more you spend, the more it gets out there. But you can start low and work your way up. I'm probably not going to do too much. I might do maybe, $15 a day, $10 a day for 2 weeks, something like that. Just enough to just get the ball rolling. But, from what I spend on that, once somebody signs up for the gym, their 1 month of membership is going to basically pay me back. Maybe not quite, but you know what I'm saying. So it'll pay me back, so it's going to be worth it. So I'm going to be doing some paid advertising soon. We'll see how that goes. I invested in a sign outside the dojo. It's hanging on the wall of the metal building. Student First Martial Arts and Fitness. And, so people are driving by and seeing it. So again, you gotta let people know you're here. I know from what I've seen and heard and listened to and read that one of the main things that marketing does is it helps let people know that you even exist, because they have to know that you exist before they can actually have an interest in coming. Like there could be 100 people in Monroe, North Carolina right now that are interested in judo, but don't know that I'm here. They don't know I exist. So marketing is a resource in order to get the word out, right? People have to know that you're there first. Now, a pro and a con. My dojo at my house, which again is going to be a pro and a con all on its own, right? It's not in a business area. It's at my house. Some people are not going to like that. Other people are going to like that. Some people it doesn't really matter. But I realize that I might not get some customers because it's at my house, and I get that. But again, the cost to run this is going to be so much cheaper than it would be if I were to rent out a space at $3,000 a month. But, yes, do I want to get students? Of course I do, right? I want to get people in the door. In all honesty, I would rather get a small group of individuals that enjoy coming here, that are invested, that want to learn, that are good-natured people, than, a group of 100 people and I don't know their names and, they aren't serious or, they're kind of bad eggs or whatever you want to think about it. Like, I'd rather get quality. And I do think that running a dojo out of the house basically is going to get more of that quality individual. People that are serious, I think, are going to come here. So that's a good thing. So again, we'll kind of see how that goes. I created a website for the business, studentfirstmartialarts.com. First is in one ST, so studentfirstmartialarts.com. And, it almost seems like, really though, a website is, almost 100% a necessity these days, right? Like the way 99% of people find out about stuff is online, right? Like again, it's whether they're looking up, what's the best pizza place in town, or, Judo Dojo Monroe, or just whatever. Like that's where people usually find out. And people go to places that have, nice websites. Now, again, it's not always the rule, obviously, but there's been times to where I've looked up a business and there was no website, so I'm like, I'm not going with them. Or I go to their website and it's old and dingy and it's hard to navigate, and I'm like, I'm not going to go here. And then there's been other places to where I've went because they had a nice website and they had good reviews and things like that. So, I have the website up. Yes, I'm designing it myself, but I'm using some cool software and getting tips and looking up instructionals on how to make it better, and having people that I know that are in tech helping me out, and just, I want to make it as good as I can, clean and nice and easy to navigate. I think that that's super important, is to have a website that's easy to navigate, And I have it up right now. It is live, but I definitely plan on adding to it. I think right now it's just up and it's out there, so people are starting to see it. And you can go on there, and I'm on there, and my name and my email and a couple photos are on there, but I'm going to add on to it more and more. And then obviously I have the free trial on there as well. Multiple ways to contact me, of course, and then some forms for people to fill out if they're interested. Yeah, so I'm taking the leap, opening a dojo. So, we're just going to see, if you are looking to open up a dojo or some kind of business, do your research, view options, check finances, and try to do it the smart way. I respect the crap out of people that decide that they want to spend $500,000 and open up a restaurant or open up a business and dump all this money into it. Even a martial arts facility, you can dump $500,000 into it, but man, that makes me so nervous. I respect people for doing that, but man, I did not want to go that route. I did not want to take all of my life savings and go into debt for $500,000. It's too crazy for me. So I decided to go the route of opening it at my house. And again, I decided to build it in my front yard, and financially it was a lot better. But another reason that I decided to go that way was because it brings up the value of my home. And if for whatever reason the Judo Dojo doesn't work out, I decide to quit doing it, just whatever it is. The investment I made for this building is going to up the value of my house. So that's always a good thing. So that's something that I also took into consideration as well. But again, it's kind of up to you. There's pros and cons for having a business in a strip mall. There's pros and cons for having a business at your house. There's pros and cons for being in town, being in the country. It just kind of depends on what you want to do. So, but that's the route that I decided to go. And yeah, I did spend several thousand on insulation and wood and the raised floor system and mats, but I didn't go into debt very much. I mean, as far as go into debt, I didn't really go into debt at all. I just spent a couple $1,000s on some, mats and just some basic material. Now, obviously, I'd like to add on to it. I would like to eventually get to Tommy's if I can. But, right now, I'm just going to use what I have and just go from there, So we'll kind of see how that goes. I got cut off earlier. My camera died whenever I was talking about the website. But yeah, so I'm going to add stuff to the website. I'm going to hire a professional photographer to come out and get some pictures for me that I'm going to be able to add on to the website, And we'll see, At this point, I'm not going to take credit cards. That's another expense, right? It's all about when you open a business, you got to decide what you want to spend money on, what you don't want to spend money on. You want to decide on who you want to hire as far as to do some of the work, right? I hired a company to do the concrete and do the building, but I did the insulation and laid down the mats. I'm hiring a photographer to take some professional pictures of me, but I decided to, design the website. Now, I paid to register it and to be able to use like the hosting service, but I decided to do that myself. Right now I'm doing all the marketing for free. I'm doing it all myself. I'm designing it all myself, but I'm going to pay for some paid advertising as well, so it's like, so I have a couple of different things that I'm doing. So again, you want to open a business, you got to decide whether you want to spend money on this, not spend money on that. Hire somebody to do this, do it yourself, but from what I've learned and from what I've read and seen, it's really difficult to handle 100% of everything yourself. You got to have somebody to do some aspect of your business. Right now I'm still working full time. So again, I'm probably taking a safer route than some people. I'm still working full time and I'm doing this on Monday and Wednesday nights. And luckily, again, because this was a lot cheaper than to rent the space, I don't need that many students on the roster in order to make the payment on this every month, which is cool. It's almost like just a car payment, basically, I ended up spending, right around $40,000 for the building, the concrete, and the electricity. So, that's for this area. But, yeah, so it's just basically like a car payment, And we'll kind of just see, would I like to leave my job and do this full time? Yeah, I would. As long as I can go on my wife's insurance and we don't go into the hole financially very bad, and I have clientele and stuff like that. I also plan on expanding after a while. I want to start offering more classes as time goes on. So we started out at 2 nights a week, but I want to add a third night, right? Maybe add a day class, etc. I'd like to get some people in here for the fitness aspect and do some personal training or do some private lessons for judo and grappling in here as well. So again, that's the multiple ways of trying to generate some revenue for this place, because I really feel that it's going to be difficult for me to just have judo members and that's it, and with nothing else, like people paying what it costs a month to come here, but not offering anything else, offering personal training sessions, selling gis, getting some endorsements for the podcast, and doing private lessons. So again, I'm just trying to figure out some extra ways that I can generate a little bit of income. But the majority of it, at least at first, are going to be from memberships, right? Memberships. It'll be small at first. But, as time goes on, I can, get more private lessons, get some personal training, fitness type things in here as well. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. I think that, in my mind, as of right now, if I decide that this works out and I like it, I can either just keep growing the business here and just seeing what happens, and then maybe there's too many people here to have on the mat at once and I split up into multiple classes or whatever. But also, if it gets too big, I could consider moving, right? And again, if I kind of take what I'm thinking about right now, I would almost rather buy a piece of land, like a half acre or whatever, and do another metal building like this. Because again, even if it is $100,000 or whatever, $150,000, that's what it's going to be like. The rent payment for doing it in a strip mall is going to be more or the same as a building that I own. I mean, there's obviously liability issues and stuff like that, but that's when you have insurance and you get an LLC and you do it correctly and you register the building with with the county and everything the way that I did it. I wanted it to end up being, I wanted it to be the correct way of doing things, right? Legitimate. That's what I want. Okay. So anyway, that's kind of my story. That's what I'm going to do. Wish me luck. If you have questions, I want you to reach out to me. I want you, now by no means am I an expert, but by all means, if you have questions, I'd be happy to connect with you. I've talked with a lot of people that's helped me out, answered questions for me, and I would love to, spread the knowledge to you as well. So please reach out to me, okay? My email is going to be below. Thanks for watching. If you like this video and you want to see how it looked from beginning to end, you can watch this video here on the screen. Or if you want to see the way that I insulated this building, you could also check out this video. So thanks so much. Appreciate you. Come back and see me again. Bye.